Good afternoon, Winthrop. My name is Phil Boncore, and I am your current Town Council President. I am running for re-election as your Town Council President, and in a few minutes I'm going to tell you about myself and why I'm running. I have lived in Winthrop my entire life. My grandparents, all four of them, immigrated here from Italy in the early 1900s, and they worked hard every day of their lives as new immigrants to make a better life for their children and grandchildren. They've done that. My parents, for many years, owned Winthrop Viking Cleaners here in town, and they worked very hard to put myself and my brother through school and to give us the best education we could get. I attended Winthrop Public Schools and graduated and went on to Norwich University, where I received my bachelor's degree, and I was also commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Army. After Norwich University, I attended Suffolk University Law School and graduated with a Juris Doctorate degree and passed the Massachusetts Bar Association. After my service in the Army, I went to work in the Middlesex District Attorney's Office, where I was the head of the Sexual Offenders Unit. During my time in the Middlesex District Attorney's Office, I prosecuted hundreds of cases, ranging from minor operating under cases to rape cases and then murder cases. When I left the District Attorney's Office, I opened up my own office here at the edge of Winthrop in East Boston, and I've built a successful law practice over the years. I've mentored dozens of lawyers and taught them what it meant to be a lawyer. And almost every single one of them has been a successful lawyer after my mentoring. I got involved very early in organizations in Winthrop. I was the president of the Winthrop JCs, and during my presidency as a Winthrop JCs, we developed the Town of Winthrop coin. We reenacted the Pull and Point Guard with a parade and camping out on the Water Tower Hill. But probably the biggest accomplishment during my presidency was starting the Massachusetts MAPNAC, Massachusetts Air and Noise Abatement Committee. And that committee has fought for us to get reduced noise in Winthrop since then. I was very proud of that accomplishment. I raised 9 children here in this town, and I now have 15 grandchildren, most of whom are in this town, going to public school here and, living here by choice and hopefully following in the footsteps of my grandparents, parents, and myself to make Winthrop a better place. During the years after the JCs, I also became heavily involved with the Winthrop Sons of Italy. The Winthrop Sons of Italy is an organization which is committed to equality, to fighting against social injustice. I was the president of the Winthrop Sons of Italy on at least 3 different occasions, moving up to being a state officer, finally the state president, and then the national president of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy for the entire country. Those accomplishments show leadership. During my term as the Winthrop president, I established the Winona Charitable and Educational Trust here in Winthrop. That trust over the past number of years has given over $200,000 in scholarships to worthy students in Winthrop High School. I'm very proud of that accomplishment. As well as the work that I've done with the JCs, with the Elks. I'm now the presiding justice of the Elks and have been for the past 10 years. which is, again, a leadership position. After the Sons of Italy, I got involved, of course, in my professional organizations. And I became the president of the Justinian Law Society, which is a society of Italian-American lawyers. Moving up from there, I became the president of the National Italian-American Bar Association, with offices all over the United States and thousands and thousands of members, again, pushing me to be their leader. Fortunately, I had that great opportunity to lead 2 national organizations, and it was proven leadership because accomplishments abounded during both of my national terms, as far as getting into Washington, getting bills passed in both organizations to help my fellow Italian Americans. Moving on, I've served on the Winthrop Town Council since its inception, having been one of the creators of the Winthrop Town Charter. When we established the Winthrop Town Charter, there was a bit of a dissension as to whether we should go with the city form of government or stay with a town meeting. I believe we made the right choice to go with a city form of government, and I've been fortunate to be part of that city form of government since its inception. I want to thank you, the people of Winthrop, for putting me back into office so many times during the past 15 years and letting me know that you can see that I've been capable and I've been a leader in that organization. I chaired the Rules and Ordinance Committee for 15 years prior to running 2 years ago for your town council president. And I again thank you for your support in making me the town council president. For the past 22 months, I have been your town council president, and I have been working to make Winthrop a better place. Immediately when we got elected for this 2-year term, we started to work on getting our infrastructure done, on getting our Center Business District project completed. We put in sharrows. We set up the zoning for the new middle school project, which is moving along rapidly after it had been stagnating for so many years. I believe it was 8 years that we've been just sitting on that building. And I saw the stagnation there. I saw the stagnation in the center redevelopment project. And I said to myself, this has got to move forward. And as council president, I have moved both those projects forward. We also have developed a new tennis court by the middle school, high school, which I want to thank the Millerfield Committee and School Building Assistance Committee for their help in. That was destined by my opponent to be a parking lot, but it's now one of the most beautiful tennis courts in the entire area. Accomplishing those things was pretty tough because after 2 months of my presidency, we faced a major, devastating pandemic in COVID-19. We had the dubious distinction of losing the first person in the state to COVID. Myself, the health department, and our health officer, Meredith Hurley, went immediately to work, setting up our emergency operating center, which operated every single day, where people could call in, where they tracked people that were catching and getting sick with COVID. It was quite a job, but it was done. We were able, through our work together with our state legislators, past Senator Joe Boncore, my son, and past Speaker Bob DeLeo, who are both endorsing my candidacy, helped us to get a full-time COVID testing center here in Winthrop, which many of you were tested at down at the basketball courts in the center. That testing center tested thousands and thousands of people, and we were able to catch positive tests and we were able to track them. We were able to quarantine people and to keep people alive. Not only did we get the testing sites, with the cooperation of East Boston Neighborhood Health Center, we were able to get vaccine. And we were one of the first to be able to get vaccine. And we were able to take care of our sick, elderly, and shut-in by setting up a Medical Reserve Corps to work with our health officer, Meredith Hurley, and go out and distribute vaccines to those housebound people. During the pandemic, we also were able to feed thousands of people by setting up a food bank, which our Parks and Rec Department and our Senior Center people really got together and pushed out tons and tons of food to people that were needy. During the pandemic, being a member of the school committee, we made sure that children were safe. We had an excellent program for remote learning, and it worked. Children were getting taught, even though everything else was shut down and the pandemic was raging around us, children were taught. Children were given laptops when they needed them. We were able to have everybody access with a free laptop that needed a laptop for remote learning. We also opened up a food distribution center at the middle school, high school, where we fed breakfast and lunch to anybody in town that needed breakfast and lunch. It was really quite an accomplishment, and I think that we were able to do that with the help of all our department heads. The Emergency Operating Center, as I said, was run daily, and it was manned by the police department, the fire department, the health department, the DPW. Every day they were there answering calls and taking care of people's needs during the pandemic. I believe we were very successful and saved many lives with the work that we did during the pandemic, as well as saving lives with the pandemic. We went forward to be, after the shutdown that we had to enforce for a while, we were the very first people to open up outside dining and to get an outside dining ordinance in effect. I want to thank the Rules Committee for doing that. And we were able to keep our restaurants from going out of business. Well, with those accomplishments, I think I have shown to you that I am a leader that can lead, and can lead even when there is a problem. I can lead by cross-correcting. And that's what a true leader does. When they hit up against an emergency, they find a way to get things done. I believe I have done that. And because I've done that, I humbly ask for your support for my re-election and to vote for Phil Boncore on November 2nd. Thank you very much.